We're broadcasting live from our Pokazul studios right here in Highlands, Harare. My name is Zain Jamo, and welcome to the main news. And of course, it's always a lovely evening to you, Joyce.
Oh, good evening to you, Zain. It's been a while, hey?
Well, indeed, it's been a minute, but we are back at it.
We are back. My name is Joyce Mabika. Piswe Jomonika is on sign language.
And of course, later on, Dora Ngube will be joining us from our Montrose studios, but we kick off this bulletin with the headlines. President Emmerson Mnangagwa swears in members of the Zimbabwe Independent Complaints Commission.
Zimbabwe receives 1,000 metric tons of meal from Rwanda.
In business, RBZ injects 40 million United States dollars into the market to meet foreign currency demand.
And in sport, Herentals, Chapungu, Harare City and Black Mambas through to Hata football tournament semi-finals.
And now for the news in detail. President Emmerson Mnangagwa has sworn in members of the Zimbabwe Independent Complaints Commission at State House. Let's get the details.
Section 210 of the Constitution provides for the establishment of an independent complaints mechanism, and whereas paragraph A, subsection 1 of section 6 of the Zimbabwe Independent Complaints Commission Act, chapter 1034, provides that the chairperson of the Zimbabwe Independent Complaints Commission is appointed by the president from a list of not fewer than 7 nominees.
The commission, which will be chaired by Justice Webster Nicholas Chinamora, includes Dr. Elizabeth Rusate, Andrew Mataruse, and Oliver Mandipaka. With over 20 years' experience as a lawyer and academic, Justice Chinamora says he will discharge his duties with honor and diligence.
The mandate of the commission is to receive, investigate, and then make recommendations upon the individual complaints. If it requires that we deal with them by referring them to the organizations from which the members complained against come from, we will do that. If it requires that we recommend that the courts intervene, for instance, in the case of claims for damages, then we do exactly that.
He further unpacked the mandate of the commission.
The commission has been essentially established not to usurp the functions of to receive complaints of misconduct against members of the security services. And by members of the security services, we are referring to the army, we are referring to the police, we are referring to the intelligence services and the prison service. So if there is a complaint which is already being dealt with by the courts, we will leave the courts to complete that complaint or that investigation.
The Zimbabwe Independent Complaints Commission will investigate complaints against any misconduct on the part of a member of the security service in the discharge or purported discharge of duty. Olin Ndori, ZBC News, Harare.
A Vice President General retired, Dr. Constantino Chiwenga, has challenged chartered accountants to uphold high ethical standards and continue working with government on a shared vision of national growth and prosperity. He was speaking when he officially opened the Chartered Governance and Accountancy Professionals Annual Conference in the resort city of Victoria Falls.
As he officially opened the conference in Victoria Falls this Thursday, Vice President General retired Dr. Constantino Chiwenga called on the chartered governance and accountancy professionals to lead through integrity and ethical commitment. He also pledged government support through necessary policy and legal frameworks.
As leaders, our responsibility is to create an environment where adherence to effective corporate governance principles is not just encouraged but expected. The optimal potential of our private sector hinges on establishing a clear, responsible, and ethically guided business environment. It is important to recognize that corruption represents a serious threat to our nation's progress, distorting markets, undermining the rule of law, and eroding public confidence as professionals in key positions across both private and public institutions. It is imperative that you uphold ethical standards and categorically denounce all forms of corruption within your organizations.
Accountants express appreciation of government support and commitment to contribute to the national development agenda.
We are particularly honored by your presence again this year, having been part of our 50th anniversary celebrations in 2021, together with His Excellency the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Comrade Dr. Mnangagwa. Your presence as guest of honor at this year's conference signifies the deep and enduring commitment that the government places on governance, transparency, and fiscal accountability.
The conference is running under the theme, A Governance and Accountancy Transformative Agenda Towards a Shared Future for Zimbabwe. Mhlomuli Ncube, ZBC News, Victoria Falls.
Vice President Comrade Kimbo Mahadi says Zimbabwe is poised for growth owing to a raft of measures which government has put in place to promote infrastructure development and boost productivity in the agriculture sector. He said this while addressing Indian and German investors in Sandton, South Africa this Thursday.
As part of his visit to South Africa, Vice President Kembo Mohadi took the opportunity to engage the business community on the sidelines of the sitting of permanent committees of the Pan-African Parliament. More than 15 business people based in South Africa were given an insight on investment opportunities in sectors such as tourism, agriculture, and infrastructure development.
They've been commending some of the good things that we are doing and also proffering areas where we can improve on. So it has been very good meetings that I've had. And this grouping as well, the chambers that have just met, they've got a lot. They can do a lot together with them.
The Deputy Minister of Finance and Investment Promotion, Honorable David Kudakwashe Mnangagwa, said investors are keen to open shop in Zimbabwe, while the delegation took time to debunk some myths associated with the country's economy.
We've held several meetings with various groups of investors. We met the India-South Africa Business Group, the Zimbabwe-South Africa Chamber, which is newly formed, and a whole lot of groups with the main intention of firstly dispelling any myths and misinformation around the status of Zimbabwe's economy and situation. I think we've been a bit behind the narrative, so it's important that we speak to the business community and they also speak to us, raise concerns, and have more of an interactive session.
Business leaders who spoke to journalists after the engagement said they are exploring investment opportunities in information communication technology and believe in the thrust taken by the Second Republic.
Today's meeting, a lot of myths about Zimbabwe has been broken. The Vice President has laid bare the various promotions which Zimbabwe is going to offer, especially the one-stop shop and other reforms which have happened.
We would like to explore the opportunities in ICT sector with the Zimbabwean government. We already established our company in Zim in Harare, so we are looking forward to more interactions with the government.
Zimbabwe has become a major investment destination after the setting up of Manize's 2 plant in Chivu, as well as exploration and exploitation of lithium. A number of companies are already interested in setting up lithium battery manufacturing plants across the country. Bruce Chawanda, ZBC News, Sandton.
Well, still in South Africa, the number of African countries trading under the Africa Continental Free Trade Area has grown from 7 in 2022 to 39 by September this year. John Nandara reports.
The 3-day 12th Annual Conference of Speakers of African Parliaments ended its second day tracking progress in the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area and how parliaments can assist in creating an enabling legislative and policy environment.
Trade growing at 40% annually. How does the AFTA plan to leverage Africa's digital economy to foster cross-border trade, cross-border innovation, and cross-border entrepreneurship?
Are member states capacitated on the framework for the implementation of promoting the harmonization of appropriate policies, strategies, and measures for the effective implementation of this agreement?
African Continental Free Trade Area Chief Executive Officer Mr. Wamkele Mene briefed speakers of parliaments that remarkable progress has been made in the implementation of the Continental Blueprint, where several protocols have been concluded and adopted.
One of the recent protocols that was adopted by the Assembly of Heads of States and Government during the 37th ordinary session that was convened in February this year is the adoption of the Protocol on Digital Trade and the adoption of the Protocol on Women and Youth in Trade. The AfCFTA protocols read together establish a very strong foundation for us as Africans to boost intra-Africa trade, to create jobs, to trade in value-added production.
The African Continental Free Trade Area has also identified a private sector strategy in the implementation of projects in countries such as Zimbabwe, Ghana, and Ethiopia to support intra-Africa trade.
We have identified a private sector strategy which the Assembly of Heads of States and Government adopted. And in accordance with this private sector strategy, we're working to support intra-Africa trade in a number of countries. Some of the projects that we have already embarked on under this private sector strategy include a large-scale agriculture production facility in Zimbabwe, food parks in Angola, a modern food reserve system in Ethiopia, value-added cocoa processing in Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire.
Recent data released by the Afrexim Bank indicates that intra-Africa trade reached 192 billion United States dollars last year, marking a 3.2% increase from the previous year, despite the global economic challenges. The report also identifies an estimated export potential of over 70 billion United States dollars in Africa. This Thursday's meeting was chaired by PAP President Chief Fortune Charumbira. John Nandara, ZBC News, Midrand.
Zimbabwe is making significant progress towards a landmine-free country by 2025, with 95% of landmines having been cleared.
For decades, the government, in collaboration with its partners, has been working tirelessly to eradicate the scourge of landmines laid during the liberation struggle, with these hidden killers having claimed countless lives and devastated livelihoods, especially in border communities. This saw the nation setting a target to achieve a landmine-free target by 2025, and to discuss ways of achieving the set target, European Union Ambassador to Zimbabwe paid a courtesy call on the Minister of Defense, Honorable Opamchinguri Kashiri, at her offices this Thursday.
We are also making a commitment that we will also make a contribution, but these are still efforts which are underway, and we hope that next year in our budget we will be able also to inject some funds. But we have been working on our own in the past. But we are saying that after this conference, there was a lot of commitment which was made, and is promised now by His Excellency. We hope that we'll have another interaction so that we are able to share notes.
European top envoy to Zimbabwe applauded the government's efforts in clearing landmines, while revealing what is in store for the nation to achieve its target by next year.
The effort Zimbabwe has made in order to clear that area is remarkable. And today we discussed what the EU could do in order to support it. And what I take from this meeting today is that we will work very closely together over the next couple of weeks. And I promised today the Honourable Minister that I will go back and look together with my headquarter and the relevant services what we could do in order to support this great objective to achieve a mining clearance as soon as possible.
The meeting came at a time when the British government on Wednesday announced an additional $5.5 million United States dollar funding for landmine clearance targeting Mashonaland East and Central provinces. Peter Chivima, ZBC News, Harare.
Zimbabwe has received 1,000 metric tons of meal from Rwanda to assist in the fight to reduce the impact of the El Nino-induced drought.
In response to the call for food support made by President Emmerson Mnangagwa, who declared the 2023-24 summer cropping season a state of disaster due to the El Nino-induced drought, Rwandan President Paul Kagame has donated 1,000 tons of meal to assist affected communities in Zimbabwe. Handing over the consignment in Harare this Thursday, Rwanda's top envoy to Zimbabwe, His Excellency James Musoni, said his country will continue to support Zimbabwe.
We commend the government of Zimbabwe for the resilience in dealing with the effects of the El Nino-induced drought by putting in place different programs to support vulnerable families. Rwanda will continue to stand in solidarity with the government and the people of Zimbabwe during this time.
The donation was received by the Minister of Local Government and Public Works, Honorable Daniel Garwe.
The donation comes at a time when the government of Zimbabwe and its partners are accelerating the implementation of the overarching food deficit mitigation strategy and will go a long way in addressing food challenges in affected communities. Let me hasten to say that this handover ceremony does not conclude anything, but indeed fulfills the existence of our long-lasting relationship.
Harare and Kigali have strengthened ties through the signing of over 20 memoranda of understanding and agreements on cooperation in different sectors of the economy, such as justice, energy, and education. Fungai Jaichi, ZBC News, Harare.
Meanwhile, Zimbabwe and the Republic of Korea have pledged to expand trade and economic cooperation in a move expected to boost economic growth and development in the two nations.
The pledge, meant to enhance and strengthen the relationship between the two countries, was made during the 2024 Republic of Korea Festival in Harare Wednesday night. Zimbabwe was represented by the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, Honorable Sheila Chikomo, who applauded Korea for its continued support.
We are experiencing a great trajectory on what we ought to see in 2030 with the collaborations and the cordial relations we have with Korea. Just to mention a few, we have the issue of TIPF, which is the Trade and Investment Promotion Framework, which looks into the cooperation, technical cooperation between the two countries.
Korean Ambassador to Zimbabwe, His Excellency Jae Kung Park, said his country will continue cooperating with Zimbabwe in various sectors.
Agriculture always is my #1 priority. As I said earlier, we have new project from COPIA office for chicken feeding and fish feeding, and also mining for the B2B business to business. The mining is always another priority for us. And also education. We try to expand the scholarship program for Zimbabwean young people.
The celebrations were spiced up by the performances from the Zimbabwe and Republic of Korea taekwondo teams. Zimbabwe and Korea enjoy strong diplomatic relations traced back to the 1990s, collaborating in various sectors, including agriculture, health, education, and infrastructure development. Peter Chivima, ZBC News, Harare.
Meanwhile, Zimbabwe and China's bilateral relations are growing from strength to strength, with a Chinese company setting up a multi-million-dollar hotel in Redcliff. Tafara Chikumira has the details.
The hotel, being constructed at a cost of $10 million United States dollars, is set to change the face of Redcliff and promote tourism in the town. The facility will have 46 rooms, a casino, shopping mall, and 3 conference rooms. The investor heaped praise on the visionary leadership of President Emmerson Mnangagwa, whose government has come up with policies that attract investment.
Ask my father invested here, then put the $10 million to here, and want to build a hotel and a big recreation place. and want to get more job to the local people.
Communities already enjoying spin-off benefits from the project through job creation.
Tinoda kutenda kukuru nezvokuitwa nehurumende yedu yemuno muZimbabwe kuti vigira shamwari dzedu dzekunze dzinova dzakasandura upenyu vanhu vakawanda muno.
Zvatinoda zvese tinozvipika mari panapa tikutambisa kuti zvikurudzira.
Midlands Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Owenwe, who toured the facility, weighed in saying the Second Republic is impressed by the level of investments being witnessed in the country.
Ladies and gentlemen, since the inception of the new dispensation, the tourism sector has become one of the fundamental pillars of economic recovery and growth, as evidenced through employment creation, foreign currency generation, and infrastructure development, as we target a USD 5 billion tourism industry by 2025 and gravitate towards the attainment of an upper middle income society earlier than 2030.
10 million United States dollar investment is part of the growing list of milestone achievements in the Midlands province under the Second Republic. The government's industrialization and reindustrialization policies have seen the province attaining the highest gross domestic product GDP growth of 11%, according to the latest figures released by Zimstat. Tafara Chikumira, ZBC News, Redcliff.
You are watching the main news. Remember, these and more stories are also available on our website in greater detail. Our website is www.zbcnews.co.zw.
Or you could get in touch with us on our social media handles, that is at ZBC News Online.
Still to come in this bulletin. In business, RBZ injects 40 million United States dollars into the market to meet foreign currency demand.
And on sport, Rentals Chapungu, Harare City and Black Mambas through to Heart Football Tournament semi-finals. The main news takes a breather. We'll be back with you shortly.
Join us once again for the NASA Annual Safety and Health at Work Conference and Awards Dinner, running under the theme, Promoting an Occupational Safety and Health Culture through Vision Zero. The Division of Occupational Safety and Health invites you to this special event with the Safety and Health at Work Conference taking place from the 9th to the 11th of October 2024 at the prestigious Elephant Hills Resort in Victoria Falls. The Safety and Health Awards Dinner will also take place on the 11th of October 2024 at the same venue from 1800 hours to 2200 hours and is a black tie event. Options for registration are as follows. Option 1, conference only. Registration fee is $600 covering workshop material, lunch, teas, activities and welcome dinner. Option 2, conference and accommodation is $1,200 covering 4 nights at Elephant Hills Resort with bed and breakfast, workshop materials, lunch, teas and activities. Tickets for the Safety Awards Dinner are available at only $150 covering dinner, drinks and entertainment. For registration, kindly request an invitation from any of the following. Don't miss out. NASA, a lifelong promise.
Wrap up your week with the TM Pick and Pay Spring Price Cut Weekend Winners. Make your weekends even brighter with unbeatable deals on all your essentials. TM Pick and Pay. Real value always.
Shot on one.
He took my fish.
Guys, did you see that? I just was like, what? Hi!
really want you to find someone nice who would mean the world to you and make you so happy.
Bernardo Silva, Stones, Foden, a little bit of time. Oh, what a shot! What a goal! What a player!
Say hello to seamless transactions and effortless convenience with the new Inbucks Swipe Card. Swipe, tap, pay and go with confidence anywhere in Zimbabwe. Sign up for your Inbucks Swipe Card at any Inbucks booth nationwide today. Have you registered for Inbucks yet? If not, dial *569# or download the Inbucks app and redefine the way you bank. Terms and conditions apply.
Zimbabwe's mining legacy is a story etched deep in our soil. It's a tale of hard work, resilience, and human ingenuity in unearthing riches and building a nation. This commitment to progress continues as mining industry players continue to unlock the vast potential of our mineral reserves, driving economic transformation through innovation, mineral beneficiation, and value addition. Are you ready to be part of the next chapter? Explore cutting-edge advancements and discover endless opportunities in Zimbabwe's expanding mining value chains at the 27th edition of Mine Entra, taking place from the 9th to the 11th of October 2024 at the Zimbabwe International Exhibition Center in Bulawayo. Register via our website www.zitf.co.zw. Mine Entra 2024, unearthing success, the mining value chains, innovation and industrialization nexus.
If you drink, be responsible.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Well, on an exciting note, government is investing in rail infrastructure to decongest roads and complement road development works. Let's get the details.
This Thursday's Senate session saw legislators quizzing government over the measures being taken to improve the transport sector, particularly rail.
Vaitevera nyaya vakanzwa kuti mutungamiri wenyika vanoremekedzwa baba Mnangagwa vanga vari kuChina pahurukuro dzavakaita nemumwe wavo His Excellency Comrade Xi Jinping vakasimudza nyaya yerailway. Ndichifara zvikuru kuti pakabuda mutauro kuti njanji dzedu dzinge dzichivandudzwa zvavakakurukura nemumwe wavo vakasimudza zvakare imwe njanji yakakosha inobva kuchitungwiza ichipinda muguta reHarare. Ndinotenda kuti pari zvino hatina kungogara sebandiko re-railways. Tiri kuona tiri ipapo zvakare kuti tatanga kugadzira njanji dzedu. Tikatarisa tinobva nekuchikwalakwala tichienda kuMaputo tonanga Plumtree. Imwe njanji zvakare yatakuona kuti takugadzira kuti zvinokwanisa kunge zvitakurwa ipapo neuremu hwazvo zvinge zvichifamba zvakanaka.
Inputs distribution ahead of the summer cropping season was also discussed.
I would want to assure the honorable member that we expect, according to the weather experts, we should be expecting the first rains around the end of October, and by then distribution of inputs have started.
There were further deliberations on the state of ICT infrastructure in the country.
We are supposed to also connect the unconnected, especially in the rural areas. So what we are doing there in terms of connectivity in the rural areas, we are also encouraging a shared infrastructure policy, which is also going to see us also connect, also utilizing the resources that we have to make sure that we connect in the rural areas. And again, you know, it's quite a wholesome program that we have in terms of us digitalizing. But again, even in government ministries, we are also looking at us having an e-government strategy, whereby we also want to make sure that we connect all government ministries and departments.
The issue of vehicle radio licensing was also topical.
We're now crossing over to our Montrose studios in Bulawayo, and it's Dora Ngube on the other side to give us more news from that end. It's a very good evening to you, Dora. Thank you so much, Joyce, Zain, and the team at Pocket Cell. Good evening to you and a lovely evening to our viewers. We continue with our next report. Government has availed more than 15,000 tons of silage to livestock farmers who have been hard hit by the El Nino-induced drought.
As the scorching heat ravages Matabele and South Province under the weight of the El Nino-induced drought, both human lives and livestock are under threat.
Kwasha inkomo le ishote amanzi lokudla. So yazaqinisiswela amanzi. So yasilala phansi lapha. Sesitshelwa ngomunye ukuthi hayi inkomo la isavuka. Yikho sikhamba sayithatha inqola.
Across the plains of Silikwe River, the couple of Mr. and Mrs. Ncube is sweating to extract water from the sand for their herd of 12 cattle.
Ngestock feed simasiqeda ukuzifida ngestock feed sesiziqhuba sesizozikhelela ukuthi zinatha amanzi. Kuyasikhathaza ngoba le distance kusuke ekhaya isize emfuleni. Kuluhlupho vele kakhulu ukuthi ngase yathola uncedo nje elungasincedisa.
Aziwile ngenxa yendlala. Zisiwa ngenxa yendlala ziwiswe yindlala lokuthi imkhuhlane iba mningi kakhulu. Yikho kukhona nje lamanzi amanzi wasihlupha kakhulu.
Amanzi kawakho njoba tesiliyambona kwabuthi ngikangaphi ngikhemthonjeni ngikhothema ngifaka i44 phansi lapho engikha khona inasele epavini.
All hope is, however, not lost after government availed more than 15,000 tons of silage for rural communities, which is ready for collection in Kwekwem.
We have organized 15,000 tons of silage from Midlands, Kwekwe. So we have allowed all farmers to access. Farmers from, the rural farmers and the A1 farmers in region number 5. And number 4.
This comes after Rwanda and Insisa districts are reported to have lost 900 cattle in 1 week to drought. The distribution of silage under the Presidential Drought Mitigation Program is ongoing in centers like Gungwe in Rwanda, Ndiweni in Bulilima, and Avoka in Insisa having already received feed. Providence Maranelli, ZBC News, Rwanda.
Women from Matabeleland North Province have benefited from the ruling ZANU-PF's Empowerment Trust after receiving business startup checks. More from the following report.
There was boundless joy at the ZANU-PF Matabeleland North Provincial offices in Lupane this Wednesday after women received startup checks from the Women's League.
Kuti neswati kubuke tuwane zokuta business yokutatirera iuku
isutoboke uku jatapiwa na dade vedu vamnangagwa iuku jedu dzichati bancha kasa kuti vana vedu atichinoshukwa kuchikoro kuma school fees bati wena sebezakwanisa ukuba self reliant ngenxa yokuthi sebezazifuyela inkukhu zabo bethengise bebe lamaqanda bethengise bagcina izimuli zabo.
The event was graced by ZANU-PF Women's League Secretary for Production and Labor, Comrade Judith Ncube.
Amatsiyanela sikhangelele ukuthi kube yi-pass on project. Hluma kuhlumo landelayo. That's the concept. Kungakho besihlangeneke lapha sizonika i-13 constituencies zethu.
The beneficiaries are drawn from all the 7 districts of Matabeleland North Province. Mhlomuli Ncube, ZBC News, Lupane.
Women in Bulawayo have been empowered by the Presidential Poultry Scheme, which is meant to assist at least 3 million households countrywide.
After undergoing training on how to capitalize on poultry production and increase household income, the first group of women in Bulawayo to benefit from the Presidential Poultry Scheme expressed utmost gratitude to President Emmerson Mnangagwa for being a listening leader.
Nawuqala ngizathanda ukubana ngimbonge umama wethu uMamchino Monani ngomsebenzi athe wawenza phakathina kwethu omama ende usithuthukise kakhulu njengabo mama. Mina njengomama osekhanye samutsha ngiyayithabile kakhulu.
Sizakhweza amarogwe siyabonga sizabambana sizikhanyele kuhle ngendlela esigcina ngayo abantwana bethu.
Nendikhonyaga olibuwa ngazveneraitero anga government yashu kotse yashu umpresidente vomnangagwa vori pakhuhu dzadha through vomemchinomhora secretary for women's league.
Haisi tiri kunzwa kufara ende takazvimisira kuti titange project yose madzimai eBulawayo.
Siyabonga kakhulu umsebenzi omkhulu esiwenzele ngumama wethu women affairs ukuthi asinikele iproject yenkukhu singomama umsebenzi ukuthi sigcine inkukhu inkukhu lezi zingaba zinengi lathi sinika abanye omama senze ipass on.
Each beneficiary received 20 birds as a starter for the poultry pass-on scheme, with ZANU-PF Women's League National Secretary for Finance, Comrade Caroline Mugave, stressing the importance of the empowerment program.
Marodrana chicks aya takakumbira kuna His Excellency Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa sezvo vakavimbisa kuti musha nemusha uchange une huku ndo manifesto yavo pavaikambena paya. He is walking the talk.
6 provinces have so far benefited from the presidential poultry scheme. Lisa Masu, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Government and its development partners are working on the reconstruction of a learning block at Tumba Primary School in Shurugwi that was destroyed by a hailstorm last year.
The reconstruction of a classroom block at Tumba Primary School destroyed by a hailstorm last year is expected to advance the National Development Strategy 1 NDS1 in Shurugwi district.
Takaenderwa nechikoro nemvura tanga tiine dambudziko rokuti vana vedu vanga vasana vachadzidza zvakanaka.
Mwana akadzidza akadzikama akanyatsogarawo akadekara zvinoitawo kuti chero zvaanodzidza zvipinde.
Tongogara Rural District Council Chairperson Councillor Wilbert Rambanepasi welcomed the development, stressing the importance of upgrading rural schools to improve educational outcomes.
Kudzidza kwacho kana pasina kunoita dambudziko, vana havafariri kuenda kuchikoro. Saka nezvizvi zvataitirwa izvi zvinoratidza kuti MP vedu vane chido.
Shurugwi North Legislator Honorable Joseph Mpasi said the project is in line with President Mnangagwa's vision of providing education to all.
Nekutuma nemukuru tamanya tikawisa macheya tikawisa maasbestos takatarisana imwe classroom yakatogwa nemhepo kuti ipfurirwe mvura yakuuya vana vanyatsokudzidza nokundopa nedonzvo reupenyu hwevana vedu.
The classroom block is expected to enhance the quality of education, which should translate to improved pass rates. Karajushe, ZBC News, Shurugwi.
And that's it from myself, Durangube, and the Montrose News team. We will be taking you back to our Pocket Soul studios after this break. To stay with us.
The Minister of Youth Empowerment, Development and Vocational Training, Honorable T. Machakaire, Deputy Minister Honorable K. Mpamanga, Permanent Secretary Mr. S. Mklanga, Directors, Deputy Directors and staff would like to congratulate His Excellency the President of Zimbabwe and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, Comrade Dr. Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, on his 82nd birthday on the 15th of September 2024. Your Excellency, it is through your guidance that a number of youth empowerment and development programs are being rolled out towards improving their livelihoods. May God grant you good health and many more years full of wisdom. We will continue to seek your prudent guidance in our journey to curb the drug and substance abuse scourge among the youth. May the Almighty God guide you as you lead our great nation to success. Congratulations. Makorokoto Amklope Shumba Murambi.
This is Africa. And here, we're always on the go. Whoa. There you go. Très bien. So when you're ready to go, let's go! Africa.
The Registrar General, Mr. H.T. Machidi, the Deputy Registrars General, management and staff join the first family and entire nation in congratulating His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Comrade Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa, on the occasion of his 82nd birthday. As we celebrate your birthday, we acknowledge your visionary leadership for Zimbabwe. Your dedication to promoting unity, peace, and stability is truly inspiring. We appreciate your support for our efforts to strengthen civil registration systems and promote social and economic development. We reaffirm our commitment to providing secure, reliable, and citizen-centric civil registration services as we rally towards realization of Vision 2030. Congratulations, Makorokoto Amhlope.
Say hello to seamless transactions and effortless convenience with the new Inbucks Swipe card. Swipe, tap, pay, and go with confidence anywhere in Zimbabwe. Sign up for your Inbucks Swipe card at any Inbucks booth nationwide today. Have you registered for Inbucks yet? If not, dial *569# or download the Inbucks app and redefine the way you bank. Terms and conditions apply.
Want to pay for your DSTV account or renew your DSTV subscription? Dial *151# to pay for your DSTV with your EcoCash USD wallet anywhere, anytime, and get connected instantly. No need to wait in a queue or ask anyone to pay for DSTV anymore. To subscribe for your DSTV package with your EcoCash USD wallet, simply dial *151#, select USD currency, select Make Payments, select Direct Payments, select Pay DSTV, select Renew Subscription, and you will be connected instantly. Live life the EcoCash way.
If you drink, be responsible.
Welcome back to the main news. Findings from national skills audit consultations suggest the need for dialogue between tertiary institutions and industry. More from the following report.
As part of efforts to identify skills gaps and align training to achieve national development aspirations, government held consultations across the country on the skills landscape in Zimbabwe. Chief among the findings is the mismatch between qualification standards and industrial needs. The Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Skills Audit and Development, Ambassador Rudoshi Tiga, impressed on the need for more engagement and coordination between institutions of higher learning and industry.
The main findings were that we have many people doing skills development. It needs to be better coordinated. We need to create more platforms for dialogue between those who use the skills and those that train the skills. So industry and universities and technical colleges should talk much more so that they know what type of persons the industry is looking for.
Government has put in place measures to address some of the gaps, including introduction of work-related learning in tertiary institutions. Patience Nyagato, SABC News, Harare.
Harare City Council Audit Chairperson Blessing Uma has appeared at the Harare Magistrates Court facing charges of abuse of office.
Duma was arrested Wednesday by officials from the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission. It emerged that Duma allegedly coerced the Harare City Council Director of Housing and Community Services, Mr. Adimo Nekairo, to sign allocation letters for 2 unserved residential stands in Harare. Duma also allegedly threatened Mr. Nekairo with unspecified action if he failed to sign the required documents. Elsewhere in Gokwe, 58-year-old Kai Yulong, a Chinese national who operates a stone steel blue mine in Jombe, will spend 35 years behind bars after being found guilty of murder, attempted murder, and assault. Kai was convicted during the ongoing Midlands Province High Court circuit sitting in Gokwe. The court found out that in May this year, the now deceased Gon of Gokwe and his co-workmates at Black Hand Tin Mine in Jombe went underground with the intention to construct a barricade where tunnels of 2 mines meet. The court also found out that during the process, the convict approached from the other side and shot at the barricade before the now deceased and his co-workmates scrambled for the exit point, but he pursued them. The late Gon's colleague John Bera was seriously injured and is now on crutches. Peter Chivima, ZBC News, Harare.
Beyond our borders, Nigeria is bracing for floods as Cameroon opened floodgates from one of its largest dams. That and more in the following report.
11 states in Nigeria might experience flooding after the Hydrological Services Agency revealed neighboring Cameroon is releasing water from one of its largest dams. Nigeria is already grappling with severe floods in northeastern Borno State, where a dam burst its walls after heavy rains that have caused floods in West and Central Africa. Authorities in Cameroon notified the Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency that they have started controlled water releases from Lagdo Dam, one of the many dams in the Benue River, which flows downstream to Nigeria. Nigeria in 2022 lost more than 600 people and extensive farmland to the worst flooding in a decade after Cameroon released water from Lagdo Dam.
The United Nations General Assembly UNGA has passed a non-binding resolution demanding an end to Israel's occupation of Palestine territory within the next 12 months. 124 votes were in favor, 14 against, and 43 abstentions during the UNGA's 10th emergency special session. According to the resolution, Israel is being urged to bring all its legal obligations under international law, including advisory opinions by the International Court of Justice.
Lebanon is grappling with the death of over 20 people killed and more than 450 who were injured after a second wave of explosions involving wireless communication devices on Wednesday. Some of the people who were killed were attending funerals for the victims of the pager attacks. According to local media, the devices have been identified as ICOM V82 models, commonly known as walkie-talkies. Reports say the walkie-talkie devices carried by Hezbollah members were believed to be safe against hacking and tracking.
We now take a look at the latest in business. The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe has injected 40 million United States dollars into the market to meet the growing demand for foreign currency.
The injection of an additional 40 million US dollars into the market brings it to 64 million US dollars, the total amount of foreign currency released into the market during the month of September. In a statement, Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe Governor Dr. John Mushawan said there has been a build-up of pipeline demand of foreign currency at banks, therefore exerting pressure on the foreign exchange market. The latest intervention to stabilize the local currency follows the initial injection of 50 million US dollars into the market by the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe in July to meet a spike in demand. Dr. Mshavan also noted that foreign currency receipts have gone up by 13.4% over the first 8 months of the year compared to the same period in 2023. He said this has provided the central bank with additional foreign currency reserves to make similar interventions in the future of mopping up excess liquidity in order to stabilize the value of ZiG. The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe further advised business players to abide by the stipulated foreign exchange framework in the pricing of goods and services to avoid market distortions. Owen Mandova, ZBC News, Harare.
The Procurement Regulatory Authority of Zimbabwe has partnered the National Competitiveness Commission to promote fair pricing in public procurement and reduce overspending and leakages.
As the largest buyer of goods and services in the country, government pays private suppliers hundreds of millions of dollars annually for the procurement, but faces risks associated with overpricing and tender malpractices. The Procurement Regulatory Authority of Zimbabwe, PRAZ, signed a memorandum of agreement with the National Competitiveness Commission to establish a national market price index as control mechanisms to foster fair pricing and promote pricing competitiveness.
We'll be putting this pricing list to say if you are buying bond paper, if you are buying mazo, if you are buying fuel, if you are buying whatever goods which we find commonly used items, this is the price range. Any deviation from that must be explainable. So from our side, at least we'll be having a starting point when we go there as M&E to say, can you justify why are you putting this price? Because this is what is coming from an entity which is mandated to do that, and they do it diligently.
The National Competitiveness Commission says this measure safeguards the national fiscus.
We are reviewing the cost structures of each and every commonly procured good. Then we subject it to a regional comparison to give information and evidence to decision makers as to how they can proceed with the procurement. Because if that doesn't happen and it's left open and hanging, not everyone is honest in their dealings. We were likely to have people that are going to exploit the system.
PRAZ reviewed last year it saved over $130 million from overpriced invoices that were red flagged. Hence, this partnership is expected to result in more savings on the national purse. Owen Mandova, ZBC News, Harare.
Well, from business, let's take a look at what is happening in the world of the creatives. All is set for the 7th edition of Zimbabwe's biggest jazz festival, which kicks off in Bulawayo this Friday before being taken to Harare on Saturday.
The two-day festival will be headlined by renowned R&B jazz musician Neve from Switzerland and some of the country's top jazz acts such as Paul Lunga, affectionately known as the King of Jazz Horns.
This year we are fortunate to have the continued support of the French Embassy and the new partner, the Swiss Embassy, who have enabled us to have the fantastic singer Neve, who is a renowned R&B and jazz singer in Switzerland. She's also going to be one of the headline acts. We are equally excited to have our very own London-based Mr. Paul Lunga, who is a jazz guru and trumpeter, and his participation will certainly elevate the festival.
Ingoma, Hellenic Academy Big Band, Prudence Katomeni Mbofana are also part of the cast. The country's biggest jazz festival is a collaborative effort organized by the Zimbabwe Jazz Community Trust, ZJCT, and Alliance Francaise Zimbabwe. Lisa Masuku, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
All the main news will now take a break. When we return, Lawrence Trusida will give us our daily dose of sport. Stay with us.
Congratulations to His Excellency, Comrade Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa, on assuming the SADC chairmanship. The board, management and staff of CMED Private Limited extend heartfelt congratulations to His Excellency, Comrade Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa, on his appointment as SADC chairperson and for successfully hosting the 44th SADC Summit. This esteemed role is a testament of exceptional leadership and unwavering commitment to regional cooperation and development. As you embark on this pivotal responsibility, we are confident that your vision and expertise will guide SADC towards greater unity, stability, and prosperity. CMED Private Limited is proud to support this vision as we work towards the adoption of electric vehicles, technology, and contributing to a cleaner, more sustainable future in Zimbabwe. On the occasion of your birthday, CMED family extend warmest congratulations and best wishes. This special day is an opportunity to celebrate your leadership, dedication, and the significant contributions you have made to the progress of Zimbabwe. Congratulations, Makorokoto Hamhlope Shumba Mrambwe.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Like we said, our daily dose of sport with Lawrence Trusida.
Thank you so much, Joyce. We start off at the Heart Stadium, where Giants, Rwanda Queens and Chapungu will square off in the peak of the Heart Knockout Tournament semi-finals this Friday.
The inaugural Heart Knockout Tournament continues to serve the best, with some Giants falling by the wayside. The first quarterfinal match of the day was probably the biggest of the competition, one fit enough to be the final as Heart Premier League log leaders, Black Rhinos, took on second-placed Chapungu Queens. As expected, the match had everything anticipated, but at the end of the day, the class of Ethel Chinyerere stood out after scoring 2 goals for Chapungu. Ageless Rutendo Makore pulled one back for Black Rhinos, but Chapungu held on to book a date with Herentals, who overcame Correctional Queens 4-2 on penalties in another quarterfinal.
It's another final again. It's finals every day, but we need to stay strong mentally. The attitude has to be positive, and we need to have the tactical discipline in terms of how we are going to approach that match.
In other matches, Harare City beat Platinum Royals 1-0 to book a semi-final date with Black Mambas, who overcame Maningi Youth Academy on penalties.
Excitement galore in the Heart tournament. Then we move on to netball news, where the Zimbabwe Defence Forces netball team, the ZDF Queens, got a morale boost after they received a brand new kit from Kenya Tabo Waloi Chiwenga this Thursday.
Having gone on a 26-match unbeaten run with 4 matches to go before the end of the season, the Zimbabwe Defence Forces Queens are the best team in the Netball League this season. Their efforts has gone unnoticed after the ZDF Queens received a brand new kit from Style by Mini, owned by Kenel Miniotabo Baloi Chiwenga, wife to Vice President General retired Dr. Constantino Chiwenga. Handing over the kits at ZDF headquarters in Harare this Thursday, Kenel Baloi Chiwenga said the team deserves all the support.
What informed my donation today is that, firstly, as a member of the Zimbabwe Defence Forces, I'm very close to the team. I see them, the way they are playing. I'm proud to be associated with their brand. I thought that as part of our corporate social responsibility, I must be able to show that we are plowing back to the communities that we are surviving in. And this is our humble way of making sure that the girl child is empowered, that when they are playing the sport, they have the necessary resources that will make them excel. And I've been following the way they play. They have played so well. 26 games, they haven't lost any game, and they are left with 4 games to go, and we're keeping our fingers crossed that they may be the champions for this season.
With a hard feud with gratitude, ZDF Queens captain Caroline Matura vowed to repay the support with victory. The equipment includes carrying nets, match balls, fully sublimated tracksuits, and match day uniforms. Peter Chivima, ZBC News, Harare.
We move to football news now, where rejuvenated Manica Diamonds are hoping to see off wounded FC Platinum when the two teams square off in the quarterfinals of the Chibuku Super Cup.
Manica Diamonds will be hoping to utilize home advantage when they face FC Platinum this weekend in a Chibuku Super Cup quarterfinal match at Sakuva Stadium. The Manicaland outfit, which struggled for both form and goals in the past 2 months, found a new lease of life and are undefeated in their 3 league and cup encounters. The Gem Boys are fully aware FC Platinum will come at them like wounded lion after beating them in their own backyard last Saturday.
Viki yapera takakwanisa kukunda chikwata chePlatinum mumutambo weLeague, but iko zvino takusangana nayo pachibuku Super Cup, mitambo miviri yakatosiyana. Isu seManica Diamonds ticharamba tichingoshanda nesimba kuti tirambe tichienda mberi.
The fans are optimistic of a good result basing on current form.
Tiri kuwina. Wongo vanoti FC Platinum inowaridza. Isa harisi kuenda kuground kunowaridza. Tiri kuenda kuground kumagoals. Tinana tapera munongozviziva. Vana tapera vanoita mashiripita avo. Tinana bhanda kubheki kune kwakagadzirika. Goalkeeper wedu hapana patiri kushora.
And we expect a very great win. Since akairowa kuhome kwayo apairi kuya pahome hauvhesi inoluza.
Isu tinowina ngokuti pamusha pedu tinoziya netsvimbo padziri zvese takakwana.
Manica Diamonds is playing at home in a crowd behind them. It's a very big advantage. But the team should not relax.
Manica Diamonds are still chasing their first silverware in top flight football since their debut in 2019. Kenya Stivuje, ZBC News, Mutari.
Definitely a potential explosive encounter lined up for Sakuva Stadium there. Moving on, there is optimism in the Chegutu community that football is coming home amid the revelations that Pupa German Stadium will be ready to host a Premier Soccer League matches soon.
Premier Soccer League debutants Chegutu Pirates will soon enjoy home advantage as renovations at Fupajena Stadium are almost complete. The facility, which is located at the heart of Chegutu's Fupajena high-density suburb, is almost close to meeting the Zimbabwe Football Association ZIFA minimum standards, with some of the works done so far, including installation of bucket seats, construction of changing rooms and ablution facilities, and a double precast wall.
Team yedu inenge kwanisa kuperforma pa home. Saka advantage ku community kuti zvino relieve our stress vanhu takuya takutsigira team yedu.
Aiwa zvanakira kuti misikanzwa inoita mushoma. Vana vanenge vakuwandira kuno ku ground.
The local community is abuzz with excitement at a time when Chegutu Pirates were struggling in their debut season in the top flight league.
We are doing what we can call minimum requirements in order for the team to play at home. Remember, Chegutu Pirates, their support base, they've got a big support base as well. So it is an advantage for the team while it can play at home. Although it is a very difficult project that requires a lot of funding.
Government is equally excited about the prospects that lie ahead.
So ndaikumbirisa kuti pavanenge vachiita vachigadzira tiite make sure kuti taita incorporate ma-standards anodiwa to meet those regional and international standards kuti ma-sports auye munoziva kuti kune sport tourism.
Chegutu Pirates are currently at the bottom of the PSL log standings and have been using Ngezi Platinum's Baobab Stadium as their home ground. Tamuka Charakupa, ZBC News, Chegutu.
On that good news, they're coming through from Chegutu. It's a wrap for sports news. It's now time for the weather.
Good evening, viewers. I hope you find you well. My name is Baba Maketa, and it's time for today's weather report and forecast. Now, let's start off by taking throughout the country. However, it became sunny and hot in the afternoon. But tomorrow, a different set of events are expected, whereby we are expecting it to be cold and cloudy, especially over the southeastern parts of the country, due to a high-pressure system that is expected over the southeastern coast of South Africa. Now, for the cloud conditions expected tomorrow, we are expecting it to be cloudy over the western part of the country, and we are also expecting it to be windy over these areas of the country, that is over Masvingo, Shirezi, as well as Matabele and South provinces. These cloudy conditions should cover the whole country by Sunday, and temperatures are expected to drop in all areas up until Monday. Now, for these temperatures in detail, we are expecting it to be a little bit cool over the central watershed as well as the southeastern parts of the country, and it should also be windy and cloudy over these areas. But the northern areas, that is over the Zambezi Valley, Victoria Falls, Kariba, as well as Binga areas, are expected to remain mild in the morning. For the afternoon, we are expecting it to be very hot again over the Zambezi Valley, with temperatures reaching as high as 40 degrees Celsius in the afternoon. But as we go further southwards, we're expecting a rapid decrease in temperatures, with Masvingo only expected to go as high as 28 degrees Celsius in the afternoon. Now, for the detailed forecast of our major cities, we are expecting Bulawayo to have windy conditions from Friday up to Monday, with temperatures dropping to as low as 12 degrees Celsius on Sunday. In Chinhoyi, again, we are over the weekend.
All that caps tonight's bulletin from the crew behind the scenes and all of us here. Good night.
Good night.